Hello, everyone. Welcome to our very special webinar with the Levio team. We are so happy to have you today. I'm very excited. We are live in these beautiful studios from Dupuis Image, and I'm with my two colleagues, Antoine and Marc-Antoine. Are you guys excited too?
I'm thrilled.
You are thrilled?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm thrilled as well.
Oh, you guys are thrilled.
I gotta follow you on that.
Okay.
So thank you for being with me today. We will let people come in. I have this big screen in front of me. I see people coming in. That's amazing. Just a quick recap of what we will be doing today. So the goal of today is really to discuss the future of work, most specifically, everything that's AI, human-centric AI, most specifically. And so I know we will have a lot of different topics regarding that, most specifically the human approach, but also the different roadmaps that you could follow to really have identified the use case to deploy AI. And I know we will also explain the favorite quote of Antoine, which is, we drink our own champagne. So what do we mean exactly by that? And it is such your favorite quote, Antoine. You say it every single time we do a workshop.
Actually, thank God you came up with this, because I thought I was in the wrong podcast. So I'm here to drink champagne, but they told me there was champagne.
This is a webinar about champagne, but we will explain what we mean by that. So I'm looking at the screen. I see there are still a lot of people coming in. Perhaps what we could do is just explain the program for today. So the goal is not to do this regular webinar. It will really be a discussion between the three of us around AI. And this will last for 30 minutes. So we will have a discussion for 30 minutes. As we do that, and as we discuss multiple topics, you have a section on the upper right corner, I believe, where there's a chat, and this is where you can put your questions. So already right now, if you have a question that you would like to ask about AI to the team here, please go ahead and write it in the chat. And what we will do right after the 30-minute discussion, we will answer those questions during a 15-minute session. And it's really first come, first serve. So if you, I already see a first question. That's amazing. Thanks, guys. So you can already get started. If you had already questions, please go ahead and put them there, and we will answer them one after the other during that 15-minute. Anything else to add, guys, before we get started?
A quick intro, maybe?
We will start with a quick intro. That's for sure. That's for sure.
I'm going to keep it short because I'm pretty sure we've got a lot to talk about today. So I'm Antoine, head of innovation at Levio. I've been into product management, innovation, and startups and big tech companies for the past 15-ish, 20 years.
Mark? Yep, Marc Bernard, CTO, so Chief Trouble Officer at Levio. Been around for 2 years now. Also, as of this summer, head of AI, so having a lot of time to spend with both of you guys. So thank you for actually sustaining me and not being over upset with whatever I say. And there to actually make AI simple for organization, because it's been around for a long time and people tend to forget it. About you, Val?
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you, Marc. So my name is Valérie Delaurier. I lead the Salesforce marketing data in AI practice here at Levio. And my role has been evolving a little bit since the last few months. Since I have deployed data and AI projects, I kind of have developed this expertise mostly around the human change management and how you can manage that around AI. So that's for sure, we will discuss that topic today, because this is something that passionates me a lot. And I would like to perhaps kick off I think we can get started. We have enough people right now. I would like to kick it off with a post that you posted, a very interesting article last week on LinkedIn, Marc. And the title, I believe it was an article from fortune.com. And I was very surprised with the title. It said, based on the latest MIT report for 2025, 95% of AI projects failed.
Yeah.
I was a little flabbergasted by that super high number. It's huge.
I was not surprised.
Yeah, we had a good chat about that.
I was not surprised.
But the reality,
but it's sad.
No, it's not sad. No,
I was not surprised.
I disagree. It's not sad. What it says is that 5% of people have been successful. So there's pretty much a long way to go for all the other folks. What's a shame is the amount of money that people have thrown to AI in the last 3 years and delivering very little, if not going backward. And this is actually the reason why, it's good to kick off today's discussion and make sure we carry it forward for the next 15 years. Because AI should be made simple, beautiful, and fun, and this will manage adoption. And it starts with the people. What happened in the last 3 years is that every board of director in the Fortune 1000, and that's the story of the article at some point, but we can give a bit of background story because we're working with some of those folks. The reality is that people say, okay, we need to go AI. We're going to be the first one in AI. It was like a race to the moon.
True.
And this is where money was thrown at the problem. And the last time money was thrown at a problem, it turned into people being thrown at the problem, and very little came out of it. So we're back at the very beginning. And I think that people need to see, and actually I'm sure you're going to have plenty to say on that, people need to start small and then scale fast. Because if you're trying to eat the entire cow at once, you're going to end up with having a serious problem for yourself. If you're going bit by bit, bite by bites, you're going to end up enjoying your meal. And AI is all about it. And here's my segue to a very good story. Like when people fail, there's some that succeed. And the best example I can give is Chipotle. And I'm sure you guys might not have heard about that. But Chipotle did deploy both AI and advanced robotic to solve a retention problem. They figure out that people making the guacamole, so the guac, end up being literally pissed about it and were quitting their job. And since it was one of the entry point to a job at Chipotle, they had a very hard time staffing up. So over the last 2 years, they have deployed a robot called Autocado and then called Chippy. And that very robot ended up doing the guac, but it used AI to not make it right. So when we're talking about AI hallucinating and this and that, no, you can also leverage that strength and just create an AI that from store to store or restaurant to restaurant or destinations, whatever they call it, have a little twist into your guac. But no human anymore do the guac at Chipotle. This is a fieldwork thinking that make a difference. Maybe a CEO, very like smart one, or a COO or someone at the top said, okay, we have a guac problem. I'm sure that meeting was awesome. But let's say it did not happen that way. There's somebody who was careful enough to listen what was the friction point. And this is where you start. You need to start with the friction point. And I don't know like what you guys think about that, but that's, I think, this like how you get into this. And not get in a mess, but get into an happy place called the AI La La Land.
So we need to start by the avocado.
Yeah, it's actually need to start with the guac, man.
Robot. I need to see that robot.
I need to see it, but it brings me only to one thing, and it brings me back like 15 years ago, or maybe a little bit more, when we started working on the App Store. Remember that? When we started making mobile apps, and I think there's been many other examples like that. But
when the statement of work was starting by "we need an app."
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Needed an app.
We need an app, and so many of these companies didn't bother fixing any problems. They just wanted to fill the App Store. Yeah. It's pretty much the same time. The only difference is now I feel like we've come a long way, and we know we need to
start over again. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, to fix problem.
So they want AI the same way back then. They wanted.
Yeah, it feels like AI is just at the same crossroad as the App Store was like.
Call it internet. Yeah. Everybody needed a website. They had no idea what to write on that damn website.
Same thing.
They had no picture, so everybody ended up with that picture where somebody hold a computer.
Yeah.
Like, remember that one, the static one? And then it became an iPad when iPad came out. Like, it was...
The only nuance is, or difference is probably that AI is way more powerful, way more capable, and there's probably a lot more things to do. Not that mobile apps was not capable. I think we've achieved a lot of change with mobile apps, but with AI, it's transformative. Oh, yeah. And I think, and we're going to tap on that later on, but I think we're going to, it has potential to change how we work. Oh, that's just...
Yeah. The modern workspace, future of work.
That's the topic,
like
right?
you're in the hashtags now. That's good.
Okay,
that's good. But back to your app analogy, as much as a website, 95% failed at the beginning.
The same thing.
So
same thing.
Like that number, which you feel is an havoc.
That's why I was not surprised about that number, because I've seen it before.
Yeah, and you know what? The more I think about it, the more I feel like you're right. It's probably not that surprising, and I think maybe one of the factors is that yes, like people just wanted AI to have AI. That's one thing. But perhaps the approach was the same as, like, I come from the CRM background. So I know how people make adoption happen for this new CRM that you want to implement, right? But whenever that happens, there is this approach that's more classic, like classic change management that will involve a communication plan, a training plan, all of that good stuff. And it works for CRMs, ERPs, or such. But when it comes to AI, as you said, it is so disruptive and transformative. It cannot just be that. Like it's like the top down, like what I just explained was the top down approach, right? So it's the upper level management that takes the decision to implement this new CRM. And then they take this decision, they explain why, and then they will push adoption down. But when it comes to AI, you kind of need to have this bottom up approach combined to the top down. You can keep the top down because it's required, because you need to kind of explain the vision, why we're doing this, kind of explain the message as well that AI is not here to replace you. That's not the goal.
The same way internet was supposed to kill libraries and kill books, it
Exactly.
just repurpose why you're using a book.
But people were still afraid about that in the first place, like at the beginning. The same way right now, a lot of employees are afraid to be replaced. So you need to have that main message right off the bat, top down.
Like, go back to your CRM example.
Yeah.
How many salespeople were replaced by CRM? Only the one which did not deserve to be salespeople.
Yeah, well,
like
yeah.
it's
Kind of.
honestly.
Exactly. But employees, they kind of need to know that. It needs to come from the top, it needs to be clear, it needs to come with that type of vision. But not only that, so you have the top down, but you need to add to that the bottom up approach, which is you need to involve them. You need to ask them, what are the pain points? What are the challenges? Where is the value? If we do use AI, where should we be using it? And this is how, once they are involved and they understand it, then they start trusting it and kind of work with you to make it happen. And then eventually they will adopt. And usually you want to start with a smaller team, that you do that with that small team, then it works. And then you can kind of make an echo to all the other teams around and kind of slowly build that adoption, one use case at a time, one team at a time. But that bottom-up approach is key. It really is key.
Oh, it's about being actionable.
Yeah, actionable, yeah. And I would just pivot into maybe a little bit something concrete, like how to explain it. And we've done it so many times with our customers. I think this approach, bottom up, or doesn't prevent from doing the OKRs, doesn't prevent from having the strategy, all the opposite. And that's what we've done a couple of times, where we do come in and do this exercise of strategy, like the alignment from the objective, the strategy, where you want to go, but then tie it up to the problem. The real problem with those,
which is not a technology problem,
which is most of the time not a technology problem. And to reuse an example I've had even this morning, it could be fixed by 2 lines of code in most of the cases. But if you tie it up with the real problem and you empower your people, to your point, you empower your team. Now you create the opportunity to really leverage AI and make changes. And not only changes that will not last, but something that will last. You're going to be able to scale, and you're going to be able to measure. And keyword, measure.
Yeah. No, because you need to track, because it can, to the point of the article, go quickly out of hand. And I think at Essence, it comes down to eating our own dog food, which we changed to champagne.
Oh, yeah.
So per today,
I need to explain it now.
Yeah, but actually, we're gonna get into this because, like, many people have tried. There were some epic failures. Some few people succeeded, but actually, I think that we did figure out that by starting by ourselves, we were able to understand like what were the winning criteria. And I think that today, what people want to hear about is exactly that, because we could be a good consultant in technology and just have a very poor back end where, like, expense reports are rubbish, timesheets are terrible. Actually, everything of that is pretty much the fact. But we are fixing that. And that's where it all started. So can you
okay, so I'm going to elaborate on that. First of all,
because you're stuck with finding the solution.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to I've said a couple of times, innovation at Levio happens where people call it impossible. So we're a lot of time we're being called. It feels like the Ghostbusters, but we're being called when it doesn't work. Like when there's a problem and we need to solve it. And sometimes, yes, it's most of the time tech, but sometimes it's also people. And one thing that I've learned is for sure. Empathy is the best thing when solving problems. You need to put yourself in the shoes of the user. And often I've heard this expression where you need to eat your own dog food to be able to test it. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to eat my own dog food.
I don't have a dog, man.
That's disgusting. I don't have a dog, but there's no way I'm going to eat my own dog food. So drinking my own champagne came out of that.
That kind of sounds better.
And it's more refined, and
it's work morning, afternoon, and night, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
from mimosa to anyway.
Straight up, like whatever.
So this is where it all started, and at some point I remember we had this workshop 6 months or 8 months ago. Everyone was already talking about agentic, and I said. We need to test it on ourselves, and I think there's so many processes that needs to be improved. Whatever the architecture we're building, whether we're going to be using RAG or MCPs and I'm name dropping tech here, but whatever we're going to be using, we need to start by ourselves to be able to have this discussion with the client and pretending to change it. We need to test it ourselves. So putting the right people together has been the very first step. And talking with the people doing those timesheets and those expense report and how we can change it. So
I'm very good at expense reports.
Expense reports, yes.
I'm not, but that's a whole other topic. So, and the reason why is as soon as we stepped into those problems, and we have this OKR wise, we have those objectives. We know where to go. We need to reduce costs and we need to be operational, more profitable. But that's one thing. But as soon as we put the finger on that, you should have seen the light coming up in the eyes of people, because that's a problem common to everyone else, and they wanted to fix it.
Yeah,
with the right tool, so they were empowered.
Bad example, but still the case. Like it's not an IT people focus; it's people focus.
No.
Yeah,
because you want to hit the people where there's still a belief that magic exists. Because if you're talking to a magician, he pretend that magic exists. IT has that exact stance. Because they know all that can be done. They know all the problem that comes with it. And then they know that they're going to need to actually curate it and manage all the problem that goes along. I think that by starting small, and you're talking, for us, expense report and timesheet is the part that consultant ate the most. If you're talking about the guac, it was the pieces that people ate the most at Chipotle. Yeah. Same case, 2 different industries, nothing close to be alike. Though we like guac, but that's not the point. The reality is that every business needs to go to the floor. And we're talking like governments, we're talking construction companies, we're talking retailers. Like it's about how you're going to change the way people interact with technology, with data.
Data. Yeah.
In order to make this actionable, people need to understand that thing called cloud was meant for AI. Because people have heard about cloud computing for, almost 15 years now, even more. The first time I said cloud was 2007. The reality is that people did not understand why they were migrating to it. But in order to leverage the best of AI, you need to be in some sort of an architecture that include cloud. Some can be hybrid, but whatever, we won't get technical, is not the point. But cloud can now deliver value as long as you keep it simple, stupid with AI. And this is where I think we need to emphasize. And it's not about, and we said it like, we said the word boiling, actually the tag phrase, boiling the ocean in the French version of this very podcast, like probably 16 times. But people have been trying to boil the ocean. It needs about just do one thing, like make sure it can work and don't overkill it. And like if at some point there was a good question that was asked, so I'll respin around it. Like there's criteria to success and they need to be established before then.
No, exactly.
Like-
That's how you measure whether you
the
pursue
point you
or
were
you
making.
stop. And that's something we keep on doing. Like, yes, you start small. Don't think you're gonna stop there. So and that's something we do most of the time. We define before we even start 2 or 3 success criteria maximum within the time frame. We're going to be building out of it, testing it. As soon as it works, well, then we scale. If it doesn't work, we start again, and
It's fail fast.
It's
Yep.
the fail
Yeah.
fast approach.
Definitely.
And as soon as we can nail it, there's also learnings. Those learnings needs to be leveraged not only within the team but with all the individuals around it. And this is how, I mean, yes, there's going to be a framework for AI adoption, and there's going to be a framework for data and governance, all of that. But if you want to empower your people, you need to be able to circulate that insight and leverage it internally.
Yeah. What I've seen working a lot as well is before you even start kind of discussing or trying to identify those use cases and what brings value fast, a good practice is to really do kind of an assessment of your teams, to really level what's their maturity level for AI. Because you don't want to get started with a use case with a team that is scared of AI already. Like you want to work with a team that's to a level that you can get value fast with them because they understand AI, they are not scared of it, they understand the value of it. And this is where you start, right? So we have developed something that I really like. It's a maturity matrix with multiple different factors, and you don't want to do that evaluation or that assessment to an organization level. You want to do it at the team's level, and even sometimes for some cases, even inside a team, you want to do it at the individual level, because the approach you will use afterwards will be tailored based on that. And this is how you can bring people to really adopt AI and to really kind of scale it for your company. And it gives you a hint of where we should start. So I think this is very important. Like if the organizations out there want to get started, think about already assessing that. There are multiple tools out there. I know we have our own. We drink our own champagne, but this is very important.
And so you're at start small, 2 or 3, like factor of success, 2 or 3 strings of innovation with AI. You're talking about bringing the team to the table. So actually the voice of the customer happens at like the operational level.
Bottom up approach, yeah.
If I add to this, because it's going to be like a 3-step to magic, mine would be aim for 2x or divide by 2, and actually we're at 2 already. So 2 is the magic number. So you rather look to divide the cost by half or to increase something by 2. You don't go past that stage, because then you're going to end up in a scalability route that will be a turmoil. You're going to end up tripping over yourself. So limit what you expect. And 2x in any given world is amazing.
It's super good.
It's like
already super
back
good.
in the days, like 3.5% increase was great.
I would
we're-
take 2x on a lot of
2x
my
is
stuff.
amazing.
Oh man, 2x on everything was
Yeah.
like perfect. But let's save that for an after-hour discussion.
But it's true that sometimes organizations tend to want to want to go like bigger for like boil the ocean again, as you guys say.
We're at 2 now.
Like yeah, but it's true that it's not the right approach. It's true.
And the reality is people like to hear great stories. And I think that we have a bunch. But like the best one that resonated for me, and I'm going to actually cheer for Luc Paquette, who was the one like spearheading that. In 30 days, because it goes back to time. Because we were talking about those 95% failing.
Yeah.
The reality is that they spend 3 years going nowhere and spend a lot of money.
Oh, that's kind of sad.
What need to come back, like we need to bring it back, and I hate the word use case. Proof of value needs to be obtained within a quarter. If you're able to do that, then you need to have a scalability path within the year. So then you make it real for everyone from C-level down to the real people. The reality is that in 30 days, we were able to do 2x on somebody on the public health sector. So that person was able to serve twice as many patients. She's in a very complex environment, but at one point she was like, if I continue the job I do like this, filing reports and just entering data points over form 1, 2, 3, 11,602 pink and yellow version, she was like, I'm quitting my job. But the problem that that very person had is that she has studied 15 years to get to that job. She doesn't have option. So her life was miserable. But by just, and that's the other criteria we can add, by leveraging what she had as devices and tools and softwares, we were able to just review the way she was working. And she went from 3 to 6 patients a week in 30 days. We did not buy anything new. We did not add to implement a very treacherous path of a new technology or platform. There's no jail lock there. It was just making it simpler. And this is what AI should be about. Like right now, it's not about inventing something that doesn't exist. It's about filling the gap. And I think that this is where people need to come down from their like big horses and trying to reshape humanity with AI. No, we're just going to fix the stuff that people don't like to do or spend too much time doing.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a good point where keyword, another one, but augmented. So
Oh, yeah.
AI will be about augmenting your staff capabilities, your staff talent, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be augmenting your staff throughout the next following years. That's going to be all about it. Not replacing, not cutting. It's going to be all about augmenting.
Empowering.
So empowering and augmenting.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be about making sure that they focus and they do valuable work, because we're all caught up into doing stuff that is, there's a little like 25, 30, 40% of our time that is of no value. And reality check, it's worse in some industries.
Yeah, I could have done a million jokes there.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Not me.
No. You, man, your time is like, if I would have 2x your time, man, that would be awesome.
But I mean, that's the point. So
Yeah.
if you look at and I've managed tons of engineering teams where one thing I was focused on was how can we make sure that we code as much as possible. And I mean, today it's the era of obviously the vibe coding, and it's not a matter of having the right music.
But actually, you need good music to code. But that's not. Vibe
coding is something else. Yes, it's going to be creating technical debt if it's not properly used. But we're back to the engineering value chain. Is that we're augmenting our engineers to produce quality code way faster than ever before. And yes, it means that AI will code a part of your business. You need to adapt to that and have that approach. And it's part of the reality.
And actually, back to the triangle discussion you always have when you're talking about project or program management: time, money, quality. Like, you don't cut people, you just have more time, so therefore quality should increase. So you should hit more of the feature set you dream about. You should hit more of customer satisfaction than expected. You should hit more. It's about more. It's not about less. And like, I don't remember, we had the discussion with, I don't remember who on the other side of the border, but like, they implemented AI. They did not cut a single job in software engineering. They just improved their product by like a gazillion amount.
Exactly. And to be able to see which feature to cut, which feature to prioritize, which feature doesn't hit the nail on the head for the customers, to be able to augment decision making into high value streams. Thinking about a few of our customers where AI has been brought up to be able to enable decision making in a faster way.
These are all very good examples of what we were saying earlier, right? That AI is transformative and kind of disruptive. It changes the way we work, right? So that person who was doing repetitive tasks, and there's an AI agent doing those tasks, their role and responsibilities will change. And then you know what? All of their roles will change. And then all of the teams will kind of be structured in a different way. And the whole cultural work will change. So yes, you can start with small proof of values, get started, having another one, scale it up. But you can also get started with preparing the fact that your cultural work will change. The way you work internally will change. And this is something that organizations can already prepare. And it's kind of important to do that.
And people seek analogies. But we were talking about internet apps, but there's one that was pretty much the same the same way pivotal to the way we worked. It was the introduction of BlackBerry. Like email was a freaking problem. People did not
True.
knew how to tap on a keyboard. So they were doing like this. So doing an email was like 45 minutes. And then BlackBerry came in, and with your two thumbs, you were able to rock this like never before. People did not stop making emails. They just did more.
Yeah, it changed the way to
It
work.
changed the way to work. And that change at some point was even like a social statement. If you had a BlackBerry, you were someone. And everybody was looking to get a BlackBerry. AI is pretty much the same. If you're starting to, and actually at Levio, like when we started to introduce Copilot, like people are like, oh my God, you have a Copilot license. Like even in a tech firm, it was that type of a magical statement of saying, I'm leveraging AI.
Yeah.
The same way we did BlackBerry. So sorry for the younger one in the audience. I did stock at least 60% know what a BlackBerry is.
I was asking Antoine, I want that license. I want it now.
So I think that this is part of the shift, like, and it's a people thing. Back to what you were saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we
need to have the voice
at
of people.
30 minutes.
Oh,
Yes,
Jesus.
yes. So I'm so glad because we got a lot of questions. I don't think we will be able to answer all of them, but we will do our best, right, guys? And every question that
we're gonna actually write to the one we're not
exactly
answering.
every question that is not answered, we will make sure to reach out and do answer the question. So no worries here. So ready for question one, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you ensure decisions to use AI remains transparent and explainable to taxpayers, boards, and citizens?
Actually, we had the same question in French. That's funny.
This
But
is
actually,
probably,
it's
this is
everyone-
public sector.
Yeah, no, but it's
Well,
more than that. I'm gonna take it, having worked in the public
Yes,
sector. I
go
have a
ahead,
right
Mark.
to brag on
Go
this.
ahead, Mark.
The reality is that it's on everyone top of mind list right now. It's the compliance part of leveraging AI. How do we do this? Like, it's not just for public sector; it's for everyone. Like, data responsibility is now a thing across the board, any size or organization, even nonprofit. Like, you have people data. You need to be like serious about it because you have a responsibility. That's step A. I think that there's several governing framework that are starting to be implemented. I think it's the job of our government to do it, which the Canadian government did very well. They come up with the ethical code of conduct to use AI on a very self basis. Like, I want to be ethical, and therefore it's not a legal framework. It's just best practices. So this is one thing that already exists. Levio was part of writing it, and Levio has signed it for obvious reason. I think it's the best place to start.
How's it called? The
In English, I don't have that because the name is about that.
ethical code
Code of conduct
for AI.
For AI,
Something
but
like
with
that.
another part that says that
Okay.
it's not a law. It's you committing to be ethical about the usage of AI.
Where can people find
Innovation Ministry of Canada. So you go on Government of Canada Innovation. You're going to have it right there. It's on the top, in the top subjects. It gives guidelines. Then regulatories, agencies, and banking, insurance, and other industry will cover the rest. And actually, it's getting faster and faster by now. I think that we're at the stage where it's about choosing not to kill jobs. It's about augmenting people. As long as you stick to that plan, I think you're in a very good spot. That you're not over abusive to your clients, because AI can become abusive at one point, repetitive, and showcase a certain sign of aggressivity. So like, it's about moderating AI.
Okay.
As long as you do that, you're good. But it remains, it's not just for governments. It's for everyone. And this is what people miss. And therefore comes our very saying, and that's truly hashtag level, but no data, no AI. You need to start by choosing what data you're using. And then there's, with great power, great responsibility, there's responsibility that's coming with those data. If it's internal stuff, easier, faster, less less monitoring to be done, depending on what's the core of your business. But if it's going with external data, be careful from the get-go. It's not about believing in the boogeyman, but still. So it can lead to massive lawsuit. There's already a ton documented, especially in North America. So like, people need to be a bit careful. But anything well planned will come with fun and no boogeyman.
But this is a good takeaway. So we invite organizations to go take a look at that document, code of conduct, and perhaps sign it. I know Levio signed it in
Oh yeah, you can.
2024.
Yes,
I
as an
believe,
organization, no matter the size, yes, you can put your name out there.
It has good guidelines, so
Yep.
that's basically a good takeaway. Great, thanks, Mark. Next questions, guys.
Yeah, sure.
What's the first step to using AI for better demand forecasting and inventory optimization?
Oh,
The first step to using AI.
That's not a small one.
No, it's
we,
not.
We could spend at least 2 hours on this one.
no, but you can say that
Okay,
it's
do
4
it in
hours
2 minutes.
with us.
4 hours. Okay,
Wrap it
yeah,
up.
yeah. We can have 4 hours.
In a nutshell,
together.
Antoine, you can do this.
I'm gonna keep it short, but data is the pinnacle of everything we know it. So in that specific context, data is key. But I would also say that, and coming back to and I mean this is critical in that context to keep it. If you're starting, if you're not starting and you already have something deployed and work, but I mean, starting off, keep it as small as possible. Absolutely. With one value chain or one inventory segment or one line of product. Test it with one string. Don't try to build it out for the whole business. Take one string, test it out with one string. No matter
team.
what's the architecture, it doesn't matter. Like choose the right models, whatnot. But data and choose one string, keep it simple, and then scale it up to the rest of the business.
So boiling a pot of water, not the ocean.
Not the ocean. Third time.
Your cup.
Your
cup.
Yeah,
Start by your cup.
That size.
Boil the
Microwave
That's
level.
good.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, and actually, it loops with the other question. It's about like avoiding to fast forward the creation of a technical debt, because like you can say, okay, we're gonna take that platform. And we were talking about.
I kind of alluded to that.
Yeah, no, that's. But actually, I'm taking the next question because we have limited time. But the reality is that if you talk about supply chain management, warehousing capabilities, like you're truly playing in an SAP type of film. The reality is that you can use what SAP has to offer, but you can also use, without buying a new feature, what you already purchased in another realm. Call it Microsoft O365. Yes, you can use Copilot over SAP data. Or you can use Salesforce data leveraging AWS Q. Or you can use Agentforce because it's the best to do what you want to do in Salesforce. It's about the purpose. And if you don't establish what you want to do and you just throw technology at it, obviously it's going to lead to what people are fed up with, technology debt. And I think that we're past the 2020 to 2025, I don't say the word, but that phase of humanity, and CFO are fed up with it. They're like, no, you're not selling me the new thing that's going to save humanity. Nope, we're not spending more money in tech. No, leverage the existing toolbox, and it's surprising what we found.
Exactly. Yeah.
Most people have loads of licenses they're not even leveraging. So like just a very good place to start. But it avoids creating that debt and avoiding to buy a new platform that's going to jail lock you again. Because there was the platform play for AI. Now it's pretty much an open bar party where you can pick and choose whatever you want and go to an A2A or MCP play. So geeking just a bit.
Next question. How can AI reduce downtime or improve predictive maintenance for critical infrastructure?
Oh. Vision computing.
Oh,
big time.
That's you, Mark.
Yeah, I know.
So you.
There's so many things that can be done. But again, is finding, and I don't want to, that is good for a direct message, and we're going to get a meeting. We're going to have fun with that one, whoever wrote that. No, but it's about what you want to do. Like, and we were talking about it with the Defense Department. Like, they have so many things to take care of. Like the difference between Army and the Navy. Like some have boats, other have compounds, like it's building versus floating buildings. The reality is that it's a different like asset management strategy. So which one you pick first, we won't do everything. It's again about segmenting and choosing an area, a team, and going for it. Then the technology exists. And vision computing is the best, but let's not get into that. We're going to lose 3 hours.
I see the next question. I feel you're already answered.
How do you ensure ethical use of AI?
No, I think we're good with that.
Yeah. Well, perhaps we could add to that, and that again, change management
Yeah, sure.
and educating your teams as to how to properly use AI. What is AI's limits? What its biases? It's important for the employees to know that, right? To be educated on that, to be trained on that, to perhaps have an ethical committee internally that you could
Yeah,
create.
you won't have a choice.
A governance board that you put in place internally as well. Like you need to monitor what AI is doing to ensure its ethical use. That's for sure.
And we've been talking about IT not being the single point of responsibility and or failure. Like, and we were talking about that article about Fortune and MIT report. The fact is, by the end of this year, like in 3 months, by Christmas, it's coming, by the way. If you guys are late, it's coming. The reality is that most of the Fortune 500 will have migrated data responsibility and AI responsibility out of technology back to operation. So it means that everyone will be responsible. So back to ethic, it's not just for a department that no one wants to talk to. It's for everyone.
It's for everyone, absolutely.
And especially the operations, because this is where the problem will happen. It's going to be between a customer, whatever he is, a corporate customer or an end user, and your company. So it's truly an operational challenge. So people will be made responsible in the beginning of 2026, and people need to prep for that. So change management is going to be massive.
Yeah.
Like we've seen a bunch of data leaks in the last, 7 years. It's going to get worse. And the people shoveling it won't be the IT department anymore.
No, exactly.
They're there to support. They're there to help diffuse the problem, find core solutions, but they won't be the one which are actionable from the moment zero.
No, all departments need to be involved. Like an ethical committee or a governance board, they should all have cross-functional stakeholders in there. Like not just IT team. Like it involves everybody. Absolutely. Okay, next question. How do you manage patient data privacy and comply with regulations while using AI for analytics? It's very precise.
It's fun because I feel like it's all the same person asking questions.
No, actually, they're too jammy. And
Yeah, I think we have a couple of questions from the same people. Yes, indeed.
I mean, it comes back around ethics for sure and people, but I want to make it, and it probably going to go beside the point of that question, but we've been talking about people a lot, and people will be at the center stage of that very same I don't want to say problem, but if we talk about patient data and regulation, and we've seen so many problems in the past few years about data being wrongfully used or and in many cases some private data leaked so often, and some really big companies. It started by people. It started by data governance. It started by educating people. The ethical use of AI will be critical as well. All of that needs to be taken. It goes beyond what we do and train or the bias of the engine. Yes, for sure. I mean, bias of the engine and what it's going to be doing and how you build it out within the business is going to be one thing. Data. But it goes back to data and people. Yeah. So yes, we're going to be empowering, and I was listening to ourselves speaking. Yes, it goes to empowering people, but you need to make sure that this framework will be in place to make sure that, yes, you say we're embarking this adventure, but this is the way we need to do it. It's critical. Imagine yourself being, your information being leaked. This is how we're going to be doing it. You need to be, if you empower your people using it, you'll have to let them know how to use it. I mean, it may sound really simple, but it has to be in place.
And it goes back to changing culture, changing the how we work, the culture of work.
Right, just the work we do in FSI, give you an idea. Like when you're talking data stack, and you have everything at one place, and you're like, yeah, you can split it. Like middle-aged man with XYZ problem is fine. Mark 42 with X problem, it's a problem. Yeah. Like it's how you structure your things and how AI is jumping over it is where the problem happened or not. So it's about prepping. It's like everything in life. Plan again.
Yeah, and we'll have to. There's probably going to be a juncture of many techs at this point where anonymization will be prime and tokenization will be probably prime as well. Where we're into a world where multiple agents are going to be able to talk to each other.
Yep.
We're going to be handling that data. We'll probably end up into be able to encrypt those data to a level where, I mean, we're falling, and we started talking about quantum. This is probably where quantum is going to be ensuring those level of encryption.
And I think that you can look for things that happened before then, like kids and advertising. Best place to look at as a reference framework. How you were able to position publicity without aiming the kids. And actually, we have magic from behind the curtain happening, so I'm sure they can put a link. But there's regulation to separate the age of the kids, the fact that you anonymize, again, no address, no nothing. You can still send publicity, but you know it's for the grown-up behind the kid, but you don't aim at the kid. It's ways of working that are already there. So whatever industry you're in, just figure out what applies to you and make sure to actually start with it. Not do a retrofit, because then that's where you go off reservation most of the time.
I don't want to start a
Guys, I
sales
need to
pitch.
stop you here.
Oh,
I
dear.
need to stop you here because we have no time left.
So we can drink champagne now. At least cheer with it.
we can
cheer?
definitely cheer with it. Before we do, well, grab your glasses, guys. If you like the conversation you saw today, the discussion, if you want to continue the discussion with us today, 2 different ways to do that. Well, as I said, you can put a comment in the chat, perhaps ask for a workshop, ask to answer questions, things like that. That's the first way. Second way is we'll be present during the event in Montreal on September 24th and 25th called All In. We will have a booth, a pretty big booth there.
Oh, yeah.
Booth number 11. So you can come and see us and join us and discuss with us. We will all be there with the whole Levio team. So cheers. I hope you enjoyed the webinar. Thanks, guys, for joining me today
Thanks,
in
Val.
the studio.
Thanks, Mark.
Have a wonderful afternoon,
Cheers.
everybody. Thanks.
Take care.